Okay, so I was browsing Facebook and I came upon something really weird. A friend of mine called Jean Ray, he posted a video where a colleague or a friend of his, let's call him John, right? He had a computer, a gaming PC, which was a pre-built computer from a reputable source, which I don't know exactly who that is, but there are speculations. Just let me know in the comments if you think you know who this is, by the way, by the end of this video. And he was using that PC for about a year, better part of a year, and he came across something weird. Like the fans inside of the case were like turned the wrong way, and everything was kind of weird because it was set up so there's like a vortex going into the computer, and the more he looked, the worse it got. Like the power supply was turned upside down, which meant the warm fumes of the power supply was going into the PC case while the fans were creating a vortex inside said PC case. So everything was like compiling inside, and it was already a wonder how the hell this thing worked for like a year. But that's definitely not it. I'm gonna play 2 clips. We're gonna react to it together. I've watched both of them, but I would like to see it again because it's yeah, it's crazy. Like I've never seen this before in my life, especially from a pre-built system from a reputable source. Now keep in mind that the PC was built by this company as a pre-built PC and then worked on again by a certified, as far as I know, source. But yeah, that's something really fishy here. So let's get into it together. Okay, so this is the video that I was talking about, right? So basically, in this first video, he's gonna go over the initial problems that I kind of, discussed right now. And then the video after this is gonna go into the extra problems, which is the craziest stuff that I've probably seen in a really long time. But yeah, let's just give this a listen quickly.
Well, as if Friday couldn't get any better, I'd like for all of you to feast your eyes on this setup over here. So yeah, you have your usual intake fans here, they're set up properly. But then you come to this abomination that's set up here. This is a colleague of ours.
Whose name will not be mentioned.
Whose name will not be mentioned.
Let's call him John, like I said.
Built for him by a reputable computer company.
You won't say that name?
No, we won't say that name. PSU is upside down, so this is useless.
Like,
there's this for some reason. So you are now.
Okay, so let's just rewind this a little bit, right? Okay, first of all, that fan that he is holding or like showing to you right now, as a rule of thumb, when you install a fan in a PC, case, the part where there's like a plastic over, like an X plastic over the fan, that's usually the side that it blows to. So in this case, it takes, I don't know how, but it takes the little bit of air that is on the front side of the power supply. It's coming from like the front side of the case, kind of like the little teensy little bit of air, and it's sucking it through before the power supply, while the power supply is upside down and the warm air is also going up into the case. So now there's like a cold or medium and a hot air blowing inside of the case directly on the graphics card. Like
So you are now creating a vortex in here instead of channeling air through your system.
Yeah.
So
ideally, right? Ideally you want the, like, I'm going to use my mouse. Ideally you want to have a system where the air comes in from the front, ideally from like the whole front, but if you can, like at least the bottom side of the front, and then all the air should get suctioned through the system and out the top and the back, right? Because the top and the back, it's like it creates a ventilation system where all the hot air just blows through your system instead of like into your system, right? It's basic. It's really basic.
well, the fact that this thing functions at all is beyond belief. But yeah, Zaga, how about them apples?
How about them apples? That is correct. And then, so this was like a few days ago, right? Or like maybe a week ago, whatever. So then he posted this yesterday.
Okay, so here's a bit of an update. How are we doing there, Jonathan?
We're getting the fans on, my guy.
Yeah, so this cursed little PC setup, we're trying to fix it. So we ordered a new AIO, new PSU, some new RAM. So in the uninstallation process, we realized that, well, all the screws for the cooler were out, but this thing just wasn't coming off.
Have you actually had the case where you want to remove the CPU fan, like whether it be like an AIO or just a CPU fan that's on there? When you screw everything loose, and I know this especially happens with the default coolers of like the Wraith cooler from AMD. If you have it on too long, for let's say like a year or maybe 2 years, and you want to take it off without replacing the thermal paste in between, it gets really stuck. So you like struggle to get it off. But this is not the case here. This is not the case.
Eventually, it kind of like almost snapped off, and this is why.
That's the plastic that it came with. Now, let me just remind you guys quickly. This computer has been used for the better part of a year with the plastic that is still on the cooler. So that means there's no thermal conduction from the CPU to the actual cooler.
So this PC has been running like this for the better part of a year.
Jesus Lord. Jesus Lord.
How this poor CPU hasn't cooked itself is beyond me, but that thermal paste.
I have to say, yeah, I'm really surprised. I'm like actually really surprised that the CPU hasn't just exploded yet, because it doesn't make sense at this point. It's crazy.
Absolutely
You can
rock
still
solid.
see the paste on the actual sticker instead of the copper.
Yeah, so
Yes, Saskia.
Pull that off, there's nothing.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, so I've never seen something like this before. Like in my life ever at all. It's crazy. So it's kind of crazy how something like this can actually even happen. And even though I'm laughing with like everything that's been happening here, it's kind of still a serious issue where a lot of the companies, like, I don't want to say they deliberately do this, but it does look kind of suspicious where a reputable source computer company, right, that works on a computer that you trust to build your PC, and another one that, like, you know, can actually work on it if something goes wrong. You trust those people to have the knowledge to actually help you with your computer, but then stuff like this happens, and it's really concerning, to be honest. You know, it's how do you guys expect people to actually trust you as a computer company if stuff like this happens? Like, that is not supposed to happen. That's really not supposed to happen. And that is the biggest no-no that I've probably ever seen. But in any case, if you guys have seen something like this before or have experienced something like this before, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see how much I make as a YouTube creator, small YouTube creator at least, watch a video on your screen right now and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my type of content. With that being said, I've got one question for all of you. Do you want to play?